I'm done with my questions. Let's open the floor. I see one hand over there. Gentlemen in the grey, let's take 3 at a time, yes?
Premier, well done on reducing the burden, but how can we, at a time when we're talking about radical economic transformation in a province that exports taxes to other provinces and which is the engine room of the South African economy, pass a regressive tax which makes the funding of our infrastructure more expensive than it needs to be? Mr. Barnes, and to the wider private sector, why is it that we have, in the main, white capital which remains on strike, which, as it sells off South Africa Incorporated, isn't investing in the next wave businesses to take this country forward, but instead, by and large, focuses its energy on exporting that capital into other environments or finding absolutely inspiring means to consume that capital with the black middle class naturally following suit in competition?
Capital responds far better to a carrot than a stick because it has choice. And I think that we could make inward direct investment far more attractive, even if it is for a period of time. We've got to attract capital here. We cannot expect capital to stay here by force. It won't.
Hi, my name is Pamela. My question really centers on a very important contributor to the economy, especially in Africa, and that is women exiting the professions. For me, that is sort of like moving backwards instead of forwards. How do we foster those female leaders? How do we encourage and fund women as entrepreneurs, as business people, as future corporate leaders? How do you motivate them and give them the access to those platforms that they need to adequately contribute to this nation?
You can't say you want to empower women and you don't have like an infrastructure framework to actually do that, because the environment is so hostile for them that they end up leaving.
Pimelo's point
Yes.
about women,
Yes.
in particular, I agree with that. I think the critical question is whether we are doing enough to mainstream women as in their own right as entrepreneurs to deal with this issue, not as a social issue, but as an economic issue. I think there is more we can still do.
The question that I'd like to ask the panel, and it's a personal one for me in the sense that my son's got a nuclear physics degree and he's about to get a mechanical engineering degree from WITS. And the biggest challenge facing his generation and the generation of these young students that are coming out of university is trying to find a role. They desperately want to play a role in this new economy. There isn't a structured mechanism that gets them into industry where they can play the role that they are destined to play in building this new economy. And my question is, how do we achieve that?
You may find that there are hoops that maybe we're not prepared to jump.
Of course.
So it's not an easy answer. I mean, capital is always looking for a fair return.
Okay.
You go where you think you're going to get a fair return.
The reality is that most businesses fail because of cash flow. And it's the fact. The majority of our people have government as a customer. So you have a system where government is my typical customer. I'm building this company. I'm doing the work. I'm a professional, whoever. I'm billing. But I get paid 6 months later. And that's a recipe for disaster, and that's not going to get us anywhere close to this radical transformation.
Okay, I agree with that. Today I came out of a meeting where we're cleaning up every department in our province to get to 30 days payment of service providers within 30 days.